And we're back, guys. I'm your host, Good Energy. This video is brought to you via the Doctrine of Fair Use. We're also covered under the Fair Dealing and Digital Millennium Act. Shots fired, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Karolina Pliskova, the former world ranked number one from the Czech Republic, Karolina went in. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. She said Iga Swiatek is harder to play against than Serena Williams. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I talk a lot about that 2016 matchup at the U.S. Open where Carolina prevented history. Let's just be honest. If Serena wins that match, she goes into the championship, takes on Kerber, and she most likely beats Kerber, right? But, however, a very thin, young looking Carolina Pliskova would take out Serena Williams in that semifinal matchup, New York City, Arthur Ashe Stadium, 6-2, 7-6, 7-5. That's right, guys. It went to a tiebreak in the second set, and Pliskova won that 7-5. Unreal. I couldn't believe it, but she played well in that matchup. And yes, guys, she said Iga Swiatek is harder to play against than Serena because she feels that Serena would give you opportunities and kind of take it easy on you, where Iga doesn't really do that. My personal opinion. Now, I don't now Serena Williams in 2016, she went 38-7, pretty good, but that was the start of her decline. I don't think that was the great Serena Williams. She wasn't in her prime, when Pliskova beat her. And still, watching that matchup, part of what Pliskova said, I agree with, because Serena was really easygoing. And I talked about this a lot in the past, how Serena was so dominant during the peak of her career that a lot of times I didn't watch all of her matches because it was like, oh, Serena's just going to win. We all know Serena's going to win. She's going to win it all. So you kind of had that effect. Now, which is the opposite for sponsors and endorsements. They want that dominant player because as they win, they get more fame, they get more exposure, and that helps sales. That helps their products, their whatever they're trying to endorse with her. The more she wins, helps their brand. But for the fans that tune in, when you have one dominant player that's just dominating everything, after a while, it's like, oh, Serena's just going to win. So I didn't watch all of her matches like that. I did watch the big ones, the championships I did. But leading up to that, a lot of those matches, I weren't watching, I wasn't watching the whole match, right? So, but I feel that 2016, that was the start of her decline. So, although that's Pliskova's experience, we have to understand that I say it all the time, styles make fights, styles make matchups, right? And I just feel that matchup, I don't know if she got the best Serena. Now, she also mentioned Sharapova, right? She said she was also a tough opponent, but she thinks Iga and her style and how she plays, she feels that to play against Iga, this is quote unquote her words, to play against Iga Swiatek is much harder because she doesn't give you anything. With Serena, in the end, her game was much more aggressive, and she says end, towards the end of her career. Um, or she's trying to I think she's trying to state that towards the end of the match, right? Like for example, you would see Serena drop a set and then just wake up and say, "Okay, I'm going to play now," and then win the second and third set. And I always give kudos to Ashley Barty for doing that because Barty, in my opinion, I thought Barty was really the next great player that we had, as Serena was leaving. I thought and Osaka was there as well, but she just lost her form. And it's very tough to leave tennis and come back and find your form because the game's evolving so much. And if you leave the sport for any extended period of time, whether that's 6 months, 8 months, a year, and then you do that within a 3 year span, it's tough to catch up. The game is evolving so fast, and Osaka, she can't catch up with it. You can see right now how tough it is to catch up with the sport when you leave. And I personally feel that Serena would start off slow and then just wake up and say, hey, okay, I'll play now. And I felt Ashley Barty did that a lot because Barty would drop a first set nonchalantly, come back, win the second and third set. But again, with Pliskova, she says, in the end, her game was much more aggressive, or like Sharapova, who I played. But they would at least give you light points or make some mistakes. I feel like Iga Swiatek is not so aggressive, but she really gives you nothing, and she doesn't even have one dip where she would have like one bad game, at least in the matches where I played her. Well, that's where I disagree with her because she feels that Iga's not that aggressive. Iga's very aggressive. She's a short rally winner. She's looking to pounce on you and take control of the rally instantly from the start. That's aggressive. So I think she's wrong there. But look, she played against Iga. Maybe that's how she feels. You know, that's her personal experience. But as someone that watches Iga all the time, Iga is very, very aggressive. I mean, look at her footwork at the net. She's very, very aggressive. She's changing the tides in these rallies in 1 to 2 shots. That is aggressive. That's very aggressive. So I don't know if she was just talking there, but I don't agree with that. Iga is very, very aggressive. And I mean, just look at her return numbers. She's with Coco the best returner in the game. That's aggressive. You have to be aggressive to win returns like that because the server has the advantage. They're blasting their powerful aces, their powerful first serves. The server has the advantage of where they want to go. For you to be able to take control of that rally as a returner, that comes from being aggressive. So I disagree with Pliskova there. But I do agree with her in the sense that Serena did end her matches aggressive since she started off slow. Serena, in my opinion, and we talk about how the game is nowadays, how a lot of ladies are, it seems like they're just not into it, right? Because the season's so long. These are young ladies. I don't think there's that proper work life home balance when it comes to tennis because the tour is so long. And I felt with Serena being that rock star, bigger than life personality on and off the court, I felt she would start a lot of her matches slow because she just wasn't into it. And Serena did miss a lot of tournaments. She pulled out of championship matches. She did a lot of that as well. And the things that go on today in the tour, they've went on back then as well. The tour is so long and grueling, and sometimes these ladies need a break. And I feel that Serena lost a lot of matches just because she didn't really feel like playing. A lot of the matches that I've seen Serena play, I could tell she wasn't playing at 100%. And this happens a lot. When you can beat someone, you tend to play down to their level and you let them get a lot of free shots. And with tennis, if you do that, before you know it, your opponent catches form and they can actually beat you and upset you. So I felt Serena did that a lot as well. But Pliskova would go on to say that on hard, she does feel like Serena would beat Iga. And I do too. I mean, I just think that, Iga's good, but she's primarily a clay player. But I think Serena, between her serve and her power, her athletic ability, Serena would be too much for Iga to handle. I mean, let's just be honest. Serena's serve, she's regarded as still the best female server in the game to ever play because you couldn't figure out her serve. She disguised her serve so well wherever she wanted to go with it. I think prime Serena about 2012 when she just dominated the Olympics with Sharapova, that was just come on, that was embarrassing. And I think that prime Serena in her prime, you're not even. Did you see how many opponents could not even just return the ball? There's just you have to find that clip on YouTube. I would post it, but it's just she literally just blasting off service games with aces and her opponents. Her opponents like, look, that's just going to be an ace. I'm not even going to try to return it. And I just feel that prime Serena in 2012 beats anyone. Any of these players beats just too easy. There's nothing they can do about it. She's too strong, too physical, too athletic. She's covering short balls. She's coming cross court, backhand down the line, forehand cross court, aces on the serve, jamming the body, out wide, down the tee. Too much. Too good. But what do you guys think? Comment below. Would Iga Swiatek beat Prime Iga? Would Prime Iga beat Prime Serena Williams? That's the question, guys. Comment below. Let me know what you think. My personal opinion, I do think Pliskova, she faced, and you have to look at it this way. Pliskova's older now. She's 32, so she's facing Iga in her 30s. She's not in her best form, and I say it all the time. She has a nonchalant type of game as well, where I think she loses the players she should beat, and she plays well against players that are, top ranked. I do think that playing Serena, I guess you could say in her prime, where Serena was not in her prime. 2016 Serena was not in her prime. That was the decline of her getting pregnant and her just starting to evolve and move on from tennis. I think prime Serena is 2012 prime Serena without a doubt. But my personal opinion, I do think that Pliskova being younger, facing an older Serena, gave her advantages, while Iga being younger, facing an older Pliskova, it's really tough to compare because we're looking at two versions of Pliskova. I think that younger Pliskova beats Iga pretty easily. What do you guys think about that? But nonetheless, we respect Pliskova's opinion, but I do think she's wrong when it comes to Iga not being an aggressive player. I just think that's inaccurate. But comment below, guys. What do you think? Good topic here. Iga Swiatek, would she beat a prime Serena? Comment below.